Yo, what up? What up, Wolf? What up? All right. We'll worry about the light later. Because I don't care. All right. You ready?
Yeah.
So we'll just do DreamHack, kind of a catch-all e-news.
DreamHack, e-news, and Yikes will be
kind of its own thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
And Boomage drama, that'll be.
Yeah, that will be its own thing too.
Yeah.
It's funny. All right.
Is it? Is it funny?
I mean,
do you think he's laughing at home right now?
It's not my life. It's not my life.
Do you think he's finding it hilarious?
We have 14 episodes left. Do you think I'm going to try to play it soft when an idiot gets scammed by I mean, we make fun of Americans who get scammed by Russian cam whores. This is home soil, and it's just good to know that it's not just us dumb Americans that get busted. I'm more upset that it just wasn't true love, really. All right, you ready?
Yeah.
Hello, welcome. What is up? Welcome to episode 386 of the Center Ring Esports podcast presented by Philly Esports. And this is going to be the best episode ever because we got a lot of catching up to do. We have DreamHack Dallas stories, a plethora of Yikes of the Week to get to, and a loaded e-news. It's been busy for esports. It's been busy for us. We haven't done a show in like 2 weeks. A lot to get to, so let's get to it. But before we do, I'll tell you about our good friends over at Philly Esports. They host monthly online and in person now esports events. You can go to phillyesports.gg, check out their latest offerings as far as tournaments goes. It goes from Rocket League, Smash, Valorant, Fortnite. They've done them all, so go ahead, check them out. Always free to sign up. Cash money, easy stuff. phillyesports.gg.
Hey, what's up, guys? This is Jordan Nothing over to Cloud9, and you're listening to TCR.
Okay, so let's start.
Hello, everybody. Hello, and welcome. Welcome back to another edition of the Center Ring, aka TCR, aka your favorite esports podcast. This is episode 386, coming to you live and or pre-recorded from an undisclosed location. The date is June 9th, 6/9. Happy 69 day, Anuj.
Happy 69 day.
2022, the time 9:18 p.m. Central Time. Go ahead and follow us on Twitter at The Center Ring. Join the Discord, all that fun stuff. My name is Tim. I'll be your captain for this journey into esports. And alongside me, as always, is my best friend, my brown friend. It's Anuj. What's up?
I don't want you to think I'm tweaking out on camera over here. If you see me constantly looking over one shoulder, I have, as you can see, Tim, which is abnormal for me, I have the door wide open because I'm solo tonight. I got a dog and 2 cats floating around in here, so if you hear random meows, random barking, signs of violence, everything's okay. It's just, this is the world we live in right now.
That's what we have to go with. That's okay. I'm looking at myself in camera right now. My hair looks extra shiny and curly today. I switched up my shampoos this week, and it is showing. Like, is it?
It's definitely curlier.
Like, it definitely. I don't know what's going on with it. That is some curly hair. I'm just distracted by myself. But, that's just how it goes.
You would think it's darker in my room, but I've been to the beach for 4 days and then out at the lake all day today. So I'm also just like 3 shades darker.
You just got that sun. Oh, well. We have had quite an adventurous 2 weeks. As you said, you were out of town. You were on beach vacation mode 2 weeks ago. literally every backup that I normally try to go to host a show with me when you're out of town were also either unavailable or out of town. So I just opted to not do a show, completely forgetting that we had DreamHack the next week. And Lord knows we always need recovery days and things don't work out or whatever. So now
I'm still recovering.
we're like super behind on episodes and information, but hey, that's just the way she goes sometimes. Yeah, no, we are getting up there in age, especially you. I guess I'm still young, but all my friends are older, so I feel like I am acting older than what I probably should be.
Your body acts close to our age.
Right. Just by metamorphosis, I'm acting like I'm almost 40, even though I'm 31. But yeah, we're feeling DreamHack.
Bro, that was like, I got home. First of all, this might be TMI. It is TMI. I took like 4 shits when I got home. I've never been so happy to just lay one out in my own bathroom. That was probably the best feeling.
And hey, round of applause, hero of the weekend. Anuj, you took a dump in a public, not just a public restroom. You took a dump in the restroom at DreamHack day 3 in the BYOC area.
I had no choice. I got there, and you could tell from what was going on in the car that something was going on with my stomach. I didn't hide it from you.
I mean, something. We've ate like shit for 3 days straight.
Something died inside of me, and we got there, and you know what? It's just that, and you know it. It's that feeling. It's that rumbling that you get that's just a little different than the normal stomach making a move. And this is it. Like, I don't even have time to look in another area. I think Tom was pointing out, he's like, oh, there's another bathroom if you just exit the BYOC, walk about 6 blocks down because this is the biggest convention center of all time. He's like, there's a bathroom over there and it's completely quiet. I was like, there's no way.
It's like, I'm not making that.
I'm going to barely make it the 12 feet I'm about to go.
Day 3, man. And you know that bathroom has seen some stuff.
I had an 8-year-old kid, I'm pretty sure, looking through the crack in my stall while I was sitting there, which is my absolute biggest fear. I'm like, I'm in here. I'm here.
Occupado.
Please stop jiggling the handle.
Please, for the love of God.
I am really stressing out, and this is like not what I'm trying to feel right now.
So that's why we didn't do a show Monday, recovering. Tuesday, we didn't do a show. That was my fault because my mom, it was in the hospital. She got home today. She was in the hospital for like a week basically she's got issues with seizures, you name it. But so they were running tests on her, right? So get this though, while in that week, they're pretty much like, hey, you're going to be hooked up. She looks like Brainiac. She's got wires all over her and all these sensors. And they're like, we're pretty much going to have to like put your body through a bunch of stress tests to see what triggers all of this. So for 5 days, Anuj, they wanted her to sleep as little as possible, to drink energy drinks, and watch movies, and if she does, play video games. And like my mom was acting like it was just hell on earth, and I'm like, that sounds.
Just gave you the golden card.
Like our weekends sound like it was pretty much the same. Like what are you complaining about?
I live in a stress test. If that's the case,
like. For real, like what hospital do I need to go to where I just get to chill for a week, just drinking energy drinks and playing games? Like that seems like a pretty cush time at the hospital. But either way, I was there.
Is she doing better though?
Yeah, it's just tests and whatever. It's nothing new, right?
Well, glad she's back home.
Yep. And now we're here. So we're all caught up with why we didn't do shows. Let's get to it because it's going to be a little different show. We'll talk DreamHack. We'll do everything here. But let's start, as always, with some Yikes of the Week because we have a ton to get to, and we will rip through them.
I'm just going to start us off here, Tim. This one is now a little dated in a news cycle, but it's a must. We talk about Peacemaker in a negative light a lot in the sense of joking about his career.
I would
right?
say negative light, but yeah.
We'll give him enough shit. Now, the icing on the cake for him was the recent reveal by Isak that, he was banned from the major due to taking advantage of the bug. However short that amount of time was that he actually used the bug, right? Well, after they reviewed, I guess, more data, Isak cleared him of any wrongdoing post-major. So, of course, he missed the major with his crew. And then they announced that. And to me, it's like, wait a minute, what evidence did you not look at? There couldn't have been that much stuff for his case, right? It supposedly only happened for like a round. So what did you look at to make your initial determination and then see afterwards to realize you were in the wrong? To me, that just sounds ass backwards. Like, I really have no idea how he got banned in the first place, if there was evidence that was presented to you either by him or whatever. Like, you didn't give him an opportunity to fight back. You just made a snap judgment right before the biggest tournament of their career. So it's super unfortunate because he took another hit, to his ego, and then for them to come back and say it after the fact, it doesn't really mean much, I'm sure, for him right now.
No, I'm sure he doesn't give a shit. And I think at what point I feel like the community's already here as far as like thinking Isak is just kind of like a joke as far as like being a body to regulate rules and whatnot. Like the way they handled this leading up to the major, we made fun of him on the show. And now like Sir Scoots stepped down from being like on the advisory board, which we've asked him to come on the show so many times.
On the CISPPA or whatever.
Excuse me. Yeah. I'm getting them mixed up. But I kind of combine
both relatively useless.
Boy, ain't that the truth? Because I feel like, if anything, the player union or the player association should have been able to fight this right before the major and been like,
Players Association only focuses on the big players. Isak, unfortunately, they should have just shut up and waited till they had their evidence and then just made rulings as they happened, rather than like putting all this information out months ago, like, hey, this is going to happen and the Valorant players are going to get banned for what was it, throwing matches or whatever they were. Like, none of this stuff came out. It was
the whole innocent until proven guilty, and this was the exact opposite, right? You were guilty until proven innocent, which at the time during a major and like just how the internet works, right? Like you just don't throw around accusations like that because it can totally like ruin what some of these guys' career to do that. So, it's a shit show by every meaning of it. So that's all I got to say.
Unfortunate, for sure.
Anuj, I know you have played Diablo Immortal.
Level 11. I would like to think I know what I'm doing.
I have it installed on my cellular device. I have yet to play it. I opened it up, then I realized I don't know my Blizzard password, and I gave up. So that's about as far as I got. Let me give you my
too soon review. Well, you want to tell your yikes?
So yikes here. The yikes here is I watched you play it on your PC at DreamHack, and it looks like you just streamed your phone to your screen. So that is yikes number one. It does not look good on the PC. It's not pleasing. Not graphically, it looks okay.
No, it does not look okay. It looks bad. It looks like a game from 20 years ago on the computer.
But from the UI standpoint, they literally ripped the phone UI for the PC version. Yeah. And it looks like what everyone thought it was when they quickly announced that this was coming to PC as well. It looks like they just ported that thing over.
Yeah.
Which is exactly what they did. The bigger yikes here, though, is that we all knew on the phone you're going to have some pay-to-win aspect to it. It's just how mobile gaming works. Well, we didn't know, and they're coming out here, Nuge, saying that people are doing the math to max out a character and everything. It's going to cost people, they're saying right now, an estimated $110,000.
I saw a streamer, Tim, spend $10K. This was like somebody had posted this. Maybe it was Dixerto or whoever. Streamer spent $10K live on stream trying to get whatever the gem that you need out of these loot boxes is. He got zero gems after spending 10K. And first of all, bad way to prove your point. Let's just make that clear. I get
Well,
streamers are probably rolling in
I was
money
gonna
right
say,
now, but still,
doesn't that
probably
also
not the
tell
most
you that
effective
streamers
way.
make too much money?
Yeah, probably not the most effective way. And I also never heard of the guy, so I was like, damn, it's like a lot of money for someone to spend on this. But 10K, 0 gems that he was looking for. We knew it would be transactional. I think what people were hoping for is that they made it in like more of a cosmetic kind of way and just throw a shit ton of cosmetics in the game for you to be able to buy and hopefully give the Diablo fans a little something after like what 6-year hiatus of a new game or whatever it's been now. It is not built for the computer. That was just feels like a money grab opportunity, another way to get people maybe hooked on the game in between. I will tell you, and it's funny because an hour and a half ago, my buddy texted me, Kumar, that he is now level 30 on Diablo on his phone. He's been playing it as purely a phone game. I did play it a little bit, like 30 minutes on my phone, 30, 45 minutes. Did feel good, and we said this after our initial thoughts coming back from BlizzCon, that like, hey, as a mobile game, like, yeah, it actually feels and looks pretty decent. And I think I'll still stand by that. I think I'm just disappointed with the fact of how transactional they made it, and that's where the focus was. And like again, we kind of knew that would happen, but Blizzard's not a small company. They don't need to nickel and dime you
No.
everywhere along the way. They choose to do
Right.
that. And so yeah,
Devil's advocate though, if you have to spend $110,000, is it really pay to win?
Look, here's the thing. I look at it like I would look at like a game like Lost Ark. At the beginning, whales will have a huge advantage, right? They're going to dump money into this game. They're going to get their characters strong. They're going to get to end game first. But I do believe, I mean, if you're willing to play long enough, you could probably acquire most of what you need that way too. So like that article might be a little misleading, that like, yes, if you were trying to get to max level
Without
tomorrow
doing anything
and want the best gear, then it could roughly cost you this. But that also doesn't mean that you can't acquire it through free to play methods. And so I hope that is there and like you're able to enjoy endgame without the thought of having to spend money. And if that's the case, I'll play it as a shitter game. It's really not bad as like, hey, I'm just sitting there, got 10 minutes to kill, get a level or two, grind out a rift, whatever. Like not the worst thing, but it does make me again wonder where the hell we're at with Diablo 4. The fact that they've pushed this on PC to make it seem like they're giving PC players something, it just all feels a little half-assed and like we're farther away than we all think we are when it comes to D4.
Yeah, it does seem like that. I don't know what's going on with Blizzard nowadays. I have a next one here. This comes from the Land of FaZe clan, Anuj. Now, if you don't recall, I believe it was the last episode we did where we mentioned FaZe was doing that collaboration with Disney. And those who know me know that I am a Disney adult. Shamelessly, I might add, as most of us are. And I was thinking about it. I was like, you know what? Maybe I'll phase up. Maybe I'll just chuck up the phase and phase up. Well, thankfully, every time I'm about to, it's like the esports gods hear me and say, no, Tim, don't do it. Not so fast. And this happened. So we all know June is Gay Pride Month, right? Holler at all of our, we are an ally. Shout out. Well, FaZe Virus, who recently just joined FaZe like a handful of months ago. Am I lying here? I think it was like just around December or something. Like
I don't know that kind of information. That's way too deep for me.
Super like he was like
I know the name, but I don't know.
No, he was a recent signing for all things considered, like in the last 6 months. So he tweets out, and this is a quote: "Just to clarify that I don't support any kind of LGBTQ or anything similar, even if FaZe does. I'm a Muslim." Quickly deletes it. No one says anything afterwards. I don't think FaZe ever addressed it. as of the start of this recording, he still has FaZe all over his Twitter account, so he's still in FaZe as of right now. I'm not
Like,
gonna lie.
On one side of the coin, you could say he's allowed to believe whatever he wants, right? Like that's the beauty of your belief system is you
Right.
can believe whatever
Of
you
course.
want. And that's a dated way of looking at it, but it's just the way it is. That's the world
Yeah.
we live in. You can think and feel how you want about whatever, whether it's gun control or LGBTQ, it doesn't matter. Everyone's opinionated. This was just dumb.
Right.
Like, what were you thinking? Like, whether you believe that or not,
You
and whether that's your
can-
religious beliefs or not, because
Right.
Muslims are not the only ones that think that way, right? Like hardcore
hell,
Christianity,
yeah.
you've seen some stuff recently
People
at
are out
Texas
there all the time.
churches.
I do think it's not that I'm like, oh yeah, you can't do that. You know, you gotta.
No,
do
I get
this.
what you're saying. This was just a dumb.
Right.
It couldn't be stupider.
My favorite
to
thing is when
tweet
he
this
says
out.
here is just to clarify, like, buddy, no one was wondering who, like, you're like, hey guys, it's going around there. Rumors are floating around the internet. I just want to clarify something here.
It's chiming in when you just need to shut up. You know, like this is not your time. This is a time for them to
Right.
celebrate the freedoms that they've had to fight for themselves. Just don't say anything then. Don't come out and support it. Don't change your profile pic to the gay flag, like the gay pride flag. Like nobody's asking you to do that, but let them have their moment, That this is like coming out during Black History Month and be like, kind of wish they never abolished slavery. Right. My dad owned some.
Right.
Okay, whether that's true or not, why are you saying that at this time? And
like,
so
what are you
never a
accomplishing
good
at
time
this
to
moment?
say it, but this was definitely it couldn't have been worse timing. It was
like
right
said,
after they tweeted out.
You can say whatever you
stuff.
want and still be successful, right? As like a streamer. However, when you're like with FaZe, who is not like just your run of the mill org anymore, right? I mean, hell, look, they just partnered with Disney on merch. Disney is going to war with Florida right now over their stance on LGBTQ. So like, you like had this caught on, which I don't think it. Unfortunately, I don't think it is. I think it between the FaZe army bearing it and it just being so fast. And Virus being a somewhat irrelevant person in the bigger picture, I just don't think it caught on because he is just a streamer. It wasn't like a pro or anything like that,
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad he's not getting the attention. I'm annoyed that he's not suffering the consequences.
Yeah, just to clarify, just in case anyone was wondering, this is what I think of this. Like, no one was wondering. No one.
So Tim, I got another one here. So we spoke about this a couple weeks back. TSM has obviously issues going on internally right now. Ownership, berating staff, speaking, and inappropriate talk in the workplace. Just a plethora of things that came out on TSM Reginald, right? And recently they decided to do their own investigation. And TSM tweeted out the findings in their internal investigation. And it was just so funny, Tim, because they came out and basically said, after a lot of, looking into turning every stone and, reading every report and interviewing several people, we've realized we did nothing wrong. We're totally clear. Now, I'm going to go to management training to better myself and realize that some of these inside jokes are not appropriate. But yeah, no, we're good. Like, we are actually good here. All of these things are lies. And man, did he get slammed for this statement. And
what was his investigation? Did he go up and talk to them?
He said they hired a team, right? But it was an internal investigation, and they're just getting mocked for it because you can't have. It's like Deshaun Watson, right? You got 60 people accusing you of something, and we're supposed to believe all 60 are lying. Like they all banded together and made up this story. Probably not the case. Maybe not all 60 are telling the truth, but there's a good chance a handful of them are. And I think that's the same thing here where, look, maybe some people over-exaggerated their story to hop onto this bandwagon of slamming on TSM. But chances are the original reports that came out were people that were truly trying to spread what their experience was like. And it's just funny that you would come out and be like, no, yeah, we looked into it, and trust me,
Don't
we
worry,
are
guys.
good. We are fine. Nothing to see here.
It's like when our wives ask us if we think we play too much video games. Do you guys like,
I reviewed the numbers
Yeah.
on Steam, and look, my playtime are rookie numbers compared to the pros.
right? That compared to the pros.
Yeah.
Compared to the pros, I am nowhere near the amount of time people. But trust me, babe, this could be much worse.
Compared to the guy that I was sitting next to at DreamHack that was playing WoW, trust me, he plays a lot more than me.
Private server WoW too, not even like real server WoW. Private
I'm
server.
excited to talk about that stuff because that was that was cool.
Of course, well, it's one of the cool things of going to DreamHack, which we'll get to in just a moment. Because one last yikes of the week, and man, we've had some good yikes of the week lately. Last couple of shows, it's like every show we're like, oh, this is the yikes of the year.
This one feels like I feel like we're a little TMZ, esports TMZ right here is what this feels like.
So Boomage has had a rough last couple of weeks. Boomage, at the moment, former Navi. Of course, no, I guess we didn't do a show since then. So he's been let go of Navi since the last time we did a show. And we talked about it in Discord. Maybe that's where I'm getting confused at, is because at the time I even said like, well, the dude probably sided with his wife. Like that's probably what it's boiled down to is, his wife, we've talked about it, a little batshit crazy on the social media, supporting Russia, saying all this stuff. Well, you got a ride or die homie and Boomage, then you're going to get the boot. So he's no longer on Navi. Well, Anuj, was it today, yesterday, just the other day?
Yeah, last couple of days.
It's all running together, man. I need like another weekend to reset, Like I just gotta, like the week after DreamHack is a blur. But in the last couple of days, it's come out that Boomage has now divorced his wife.
Filed for divorce, yeah.
Filed for divorce. It has now been that she has been blackmailing him. There are apparently pictures out there of his panus. I've tried looking for research on the show. I can't find those.
Pictures out of him snorting a white powder.
That is
her calling him a drug addict.
Not calling him a lesbian, which is maybe that's a Russian thing. I don't know.
Yeah, said that he cheated on her multiple times and really just doing whatever she can to Amber Heard him right now, it feels like.
Yeah, so look, I will say this. I thought this was true love. When I first saw them, I was like, this is what I expect true love to look like. And I, maybe even more than Boomage, is upset that this didn't work out. So obviously this situation sucks. Okay, is that on the record, Judge? Is that on the permanent? I'm
seeing where this is going.
Is that on the permanent record? However, who's surprised by this? Can I get a show of hands on who is look? When you date this different on the hotness scale, okay, and we've all seen the facial hair on Boomage, folks. That dude is not that high on the hotness scale. When you're dating that big of a gap, the chances of you getting scammed is significantly higher. And there was no other way that this relationship was going to go any other way.
Well, the hotness scale also needs to correlate with the personality scale, right? And the problem here is you had hot with the combination of crazy, obviously. And it sounds like, based on some stuff that Simple has thrown out there on his streams and other things we're hearing about this individual, her character, like they're slandering, they're talking real bad about her right now. I hope that this stuff is true, because if it's not, they're really saying some pretty nasty things at that point, right? But it sounds like she's well known within the community, and You know,
apparently, like everyone on Navi was telling Boomage, bro, don't do it. She's a whore. She's a gold digger. Don't touch it. Don't get involved with it. And Boomage just thought with his dick before his brain, and he went with it. And I hope those.
And it's essentially cost him his career, is what it's done, right?
Yes.
Because Boomage is probably not all of a sudden going to reappear on a big international roster. Especially with the Russian ties in the sense of like you have this baggage now that's tied to you, and it's hard to like overcome that when you're also not communicating on an English-based team. Like there's so many struggles, and there's very few teams that he can truly go to in that region right now. Like obviously
he'll never get to a team like Navi again.
That's the problem, right? Like it's only downhill from here. Like you're not going to Gambit. Probably not. Like VP is no longer in operation for. Well, do they only get rid of Yakinder? I don't know. I don't know if
who knows on those Russian teams. I
but
don't know what's gonna happen.
Not a lot of choices, right? And so, yeah, I mean, unfortunately, this has cost him a lot more than, in his case, just his marriage. It's cost him his career as well, and probably going to be a little bit of a tough hill to climb here for him.
Yeah. And I really don't think the story, as far as we're concerned, goes anything past this, to be honest with you. Like, until he signs with another squad, she could release pictures of his butthole for all I care.
Some of those, like, lesbian photos of him come out. That would be interesting
That
to see.
I would like to know. I would like to, if she gives more details on him being a lesbian comment, I would like to dive into that one.
Yeah.
But outside of that, and I've told my wife this too. Like, I've always thought it interesting when people try to blackmail people with nudes. I would release them myself. That has no, like, if you're like, yo, Tim, if you don't do this, I'm going to show people a dick pic of yours. Buddy, let it rip. Like, there's nothing out there that I'd be willing to give to you to prevent someone. That's their nightmares. I look at my dick every single day in the mirror. Okay? I have grown accustomed to it.
You're like comfortable with it at this point.
Like this is their problem if they're looking at it. So what
Hey, and then, it worked wonders for like Kim Kardashian.
But so maybe Boomage has a career turnaround
out there, and all of a sudden
keeping up with the Boomages. You just don't know. Like I said,
hanging with the Krajewskis.
I feel for him in the sense of, like, this is pretty much a romance scam is what he fell for. It completely killed his Counter-Strike career at the top tier. He was in a cush position, by the way, with Navi. Like, he was a pillar on that roster. So he wasn't going anywhere anytime soon.
He was in-game leading for him. Now, technically, Blade does all the pre-game work and kind of lays out the full game plan, so he really just needs to execute it.
His spot was safe. His spot was
still
safe.
A very important role in what he was doing. So will be interesting to see what Navi does here and how they replace him. There are some options.
I love Pasha's tweets about all of this.
Yeah, it almost seems like he's like going a little far with it, though, to be honest.
Going a little. Well, I gotta imagine.
It feels a little personal.
I'm gonna assume Europeans don't like a lot of Russians right now.
I get that.
I'll give them benefit of the doubt.
Like this is
Maybe
like
this is
within your, the esports pro community in Counter-Strike is still relatively small, right? So it's like to go after somebody in that way, it's like it feels a little personal.
Just a bit. I don't know if there's history between them. I can't imagine, given when one made his debut and the other one was out, but he does have some funny tweets about it. But either way, stay hard, Boomage. Hope everything goes well. Don't worry about the dick pics. And, you did a little cocaine.
Who hasn't, right?
Yeah, come on. I mean, and I do like how people, first off, I have not. Just for the record, I have not done cocaine. My drug knowledge comes from Breaking Bad. So that's pretty much where my drug knowledge stops.
Like blue meth or nothing.
Right. Like if it's not blue, I have no idea what it is. But I do like how when like people see that video or the picture of him snorting this white powder, And some people are like, "Whoa, did you see him have cocaine?" And some people are like, "Oh, that is clearly not cocaine. That is," and then they'll name some other drug. I'm like, bro, I don't know. Like, he's snorting white stuff up his nose. That's cocaine to me. Now, whether it's something else, sure, but like, let's not get hoity-toity over this. It's a video of him snorting white stuff. Okay, it's not good either way. It's not good. If we're going to have a conniption fit over people having Adderall in esports, I think the line has already been drawn way, 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 way before cocaine. So there's that.
I'm trying to... Did you see the video?
I did. Of course I did. Did I see the video? Yes.
I want to see the video.
It's... Imagine Boomage snorting up white stuff.
I know, but I just want to see.
That's the video.
You find it, and you didn't find the dick pics.
I did not find the dick pics. No. I will report back as soon as I do. As soon as I do. But yeah, so hopefully he has some type of turnaround, not just in esports, but in life, because this definitely sucks. Like, have you ever seen the show 90 Day Fiance?
No.
Like, half of it is Ukrainian, Eastern European scammers, right? And you just look at those sad, sad losers out there just falling for these online dating scams. And you're like, God, how dumb do you have to be? And the fact that it happened to one of our own, that's a tough one, pal. That's a tough one. So, and I do agree. Like Wolf says, based on his performance on Blast, he could stay on the team. I don't think he's coming back to Navi. I think that relationship.
I think they've all moved on.
If you go and watch the video of it, and maybe I'll put it in Discord. I don't think I put it in Discord. There's video of a simple stream, and it has subtitles on there. Someone translated it, of him talking about how they told him, don't do it. She's, like I said, she's a whore. Don't do it. She's using you. Don't, oh, this is crazy, man. This wasn't like just a one-time thing. It seemed like it was like over and over, like when they first started talking, then when they first started dating, then when they got engaged, then when they got married. Like, it seemed like this was multiple times where like their heads.
It seems like they're almost just annoyed with the decision that he made, and so they also feel like they're better off just like
he chose her over the team, right? Like, that's how they got in this situation to begin with. So I don't him returning to Navi, that ship has sailed. I think I don't see that coming back. So stay hard, Boomage. Hopefully we'll see you again soon. All right, so there it is. Packed yikes of the week. So that's like 2 weeks worth of yikes to get to. So there's that. Anuj, let's talk about some DreamHack though, before we get into catching up with some e-news, because we did have DreamHack. Met a few listeners out there. So first off, shout out to all of you. Great to see you guys. Always a fun time. Now, this is the first DreamHack in like 2.5 years. Really didn't know what to expect as far as an event goes. I will say this to start. I had a blast. Like, it really still is a lot of fun to go out and do that with the boys.
Did you do the DreamHack survey?
No, I didn't yet.
I gave them some pretty real feedback this time.
Oh, I always give feedback.
Have also agreed. I had a lot of fun. Okay, let's start there. I had a really good time. It was nice to have all of our friends out there, some friends I hadn't seen in a really long time. So from a standpoint of getting to hang out with who I hung out with, really, really happy about that.
Yeah.
I got to tell you, like, a couple of things that irk me with DreamHack is like the BYOC tournaments. It seemed like everything outside of card games was delayed a day or at least multiple hours.
Now, thankfully, we were smart. We didn't do any of the tournaments. We every DreamHack we always do at least one tournament, and that's typically Counter-Strike. But this year we were signed up for it and opted to just not do it after the first delay, right? Or we were doing something. I think we were watching Cloud9. Oh, that's what we were doing. We were watching Cloud9 and FaZe, and we were like, we got to go back to register. Do we want to do it? Nah, let's just not do it. And then we get back and find out that it was delayed like a couple hours. So we were like, oh, well, thank God we didn't do it.
Well, ended up being delayed a whole day,
Right.
so they didn't even start until the next morning. But you know, that always kind of gets me. But like, I thought overall this year, it was good. It didn't feel as busy, and I think part of that is because they sold half of the BYOC to people that were participating in the Fortnite event, and I wish they kind of would have separated them completely from the BYOC, because once they were eliminated,
Whoop.
that area was
Done.
like gone. There was like a whole side of the BYOC that was just empty, that we probably, if we were willing to, could have moved over and all had like our own table. It was that kind of empty, you know?
Yeah, it was. So they had like a real, not just a BYOC Fortnite event, but a real Fortnite, like $25,000 winner tournament. So
pros showed up to play in the BYOC.
Yeah, big name pros were there and everything. But yeah, like Anuj was saying, when they lost, they were gone. Like you could tell
they purely there just to participate in that event. Yeah. But look, I mean, it's everything you want it to be, right? We had fairly good internet, didn't really run into any issues there, had decent space in between us. We had a game that we were all playing for the most part.
The people across from us didn't show up, so that's always awesome.
Yeah, like we had room around us, so it wasn't bad. The esports was great, you know.
So this is my complaint, and I'll say this on my survey. So DreamHack, if you're listening, the issue is when you're in BYOC, and this is why we always have to just do like a very broad recap episode afterwards, is because when you're doing BYOC, especially, even at DreamHack in general, if you're just there to see the expo, but especially if you're doing BYOC, you lose track of time. Like you don't know what time of day it is, right? Like you get there at 9 and the next thing you look and it's 4 p.m.
It's like dark at all times, right?
Yeah.
So you're kind of just in this dark room playing games, and they're also not putting up any content to show you what the hell's going on.
And that is my beef, is that they have screens and projectors all around that DreamHack has set up, and like 99% of the time it's the Gandalf bobbing head meme going on with music, when it's like, why don't you put a schedule up on what esports events are going on? Why don't you put the games up so I can watch some Counter-Strike or the FGC or the Smash? Like, I would like to go watch Smash or any of the other FGC games, but I don't know when they are. And I'm not going to sit here and stay at the playing area until they start up. Like, it's so like even when you're watching esports at home, it's just nothing is ran on a tight schedule. And so when you're there,
feels chaotic for the BYOC area.
Well, yeah.
Like they don't think about that stuff.
No.
And they think we're only there to play games and we don't care to be part of any of the other events, which is like not true. I feel like a lot of people have interest in both, you know?
Yeah, and the expo, I think this year was a little smaller than years past as far as like the vendors that were there. Like normally, not comparing it to the first year in Austin, because nothing can really beat that, because it was like the first DreamHack in North America. So you had everyone and their mother there as far as vendors go. But like they didn't have a lot of the big vendors there this year, and I don't blame DreamHack for that unless their prices are just egregious. But
they didn't have big vendors, but they really didn't have like cool small vendors either. There was a couple, right? Glorious Keyboards was one that
like,
we were all attracted to, but there's not like
when I'm at DreamHack, I'm looking forward to buying
and stuff like that.
Like I'm looking forward to buying something I don't need, but I actually bought nothing this year. So, you know, there's that, but I still had a lot of fun. I thought it was, there's Anuja's new keyboard right there. Still liking it.
I actually really am. The keys feel, I didn't really understand like keys feel nicer than what I have, like a keyboard. They do feel super nice. I mean, it's ultra compact, so I'm not used to that really yet, how small this keyboard is. But I've been looking, I have like 6 links pulled up here for some cool keycaps I found online. So there's some stuff I'm excited to do with it. But yeah, I am liking it.
Now I'm hooked, and I'm looking for another keyboard, even though I absolutely don't need one. But that's just how it works. But I still had a lot of fun, like you said, with just hanging out with the boys and everything. I do think, I don't want to say this is the last DreamHack for us, because we can always just go to the the venue itself if we ever wanted to. But BYOC, it might be the last one for us. We're getting up there in age, and I
did get that vibe just talking to like some of the folks after also. They're like, hey, yeah, this was fun, but like we could probably do something on our own that's more fun, right?
like, get an Airbnb. It's
hard to play games for 3 days straight.
Like, if anyone wants to question that gamers are physical elite athletes, go ahead and sit in those chairs for 3 days and tell me how your back feels.
Yeah,
Okay?
I mean, it's a little rough. Like, and I shouldn't say a little rough. By the end, like Sunday, we always say like, "Oh,
we're gonna game until the lights come on."
Game half the day on Sunday. Man, I woke up on Sunday and my wife was like, "Do you want to go do this?" And I was like, "Yeah, I do. I'm okay with that. Like, I'm done here. I've had my fun. I'm tired now."
Yeah,
it's like
the issue is because you can't ever get away. Like, even when you're at the venue relaxing, you're at your computer still, or you're sitting by an esports screen or things like that. So there's that.
It's not like there's like couches or anything out to like make it comfortable in a different way. You're literally there to sit behind your computer. I would rather us next year get a BYOB, set up our computers there, go golf or shoot in the morning or something fun like that all of us have an interest in,
and then game in the afternoon,
and then like game in the afternoon and play later at night, but by like 9-10 o'clock.
Now, I will also say this is that will also be nice because we can bring our own goddamn food and drinks, because this year, above
we could have water there too,
above all other DreamHacks. I don't know if this was because of recent life events that security was amped, which, by the way, I always felt safe. I never felt unsafe at any point in time, so I appreciate that. But, okay, let's think of the logic here. The expo and all food and drinks within it close at 8 p.m. The BYOC is 24/7. You cannot bring in your own food and drink, and depending on the security person you got, which, again, they were all pretty amped up this year around, they weren't letting people bring in their food or drinks, or at least us. Like, maybe we just had bad luck. Maybe other people could. I don't know. But, like, so, like, after 8 o'clock, we were, like, on survival mode for the one bottle of water that we spent $4 on for the rest of the night, and it was brutal. I was sitting underneath the air vent, and Anuj, you can attest. I've taken a COVID test every day since getting back. I'm good. No COVID streak, still alive. You can hear my voice. I sound 1,000,000 times better. I was ready to die because that air vent, I think, was sucking up every inch of dust in that entire building, including the 10 years of dust's worth in our buddy's computer sitting next to me, and blowing it right in my face for 3 days straight.
Yeah, no, we were positioned in a pretty rough spot when it came to that vent, because that was right on top of us, and it was cold. And I know it sounds like we're bitching a lot, but again, overall, say good
awesome.
time.
I would do it again.
We wanted out of it, but I think it's also time that like we can do this in more of a grown-up way.
Yeah. I met Twists. I met Twist from FaZe there. He taught me how to phase up, and I posted a picture of that in Discord, and someone made the comment, "Oh, you look like a parent chaperone." And like, I feel like a parent chaperone at this place. Like, it's not for the old man. It's not. It's still fun. I still had a blast, and if you asked me to do it again this weekend, I would. But there's definitely things that they can do to improve the experience from a all-day standpoint that I feel like we've said this every year after DreamHack, right? And even then, for the BYOC tournaments, every year they have delays. Every year they have server issues. And, it's like, guys, you're DreamHack. You should have this shit figured out. And they're like, oh, well, it's the servers, blah, blah, blah. So that's always a mess. Cozy asks in chat, did I tell Twist that he's really not NA? No, but I was yelling at him all weekend that he was a virgin from the stands. So there's that.
We got to stop in the IEM event. I thought the way that they had that set up was pretty nice. Close enough to the venue to where if you were at the venue, you could just kind of walk on over and
I mean, that was a great setup.
And...
However, the in-stadium production, they have two chants that they were getting the crowd to do, and they were posting it up on screen. They were asking people to do the USA chant and the Viking clap. If you were watching at home and you saw, like, man, this is like the 100th time they're doing this Viking clap. That's because they would post a video up for people to do it over and over and over again. So, it was rough.
It was. That part was a little rough.
But I thought that was great. Twist did
Cloud9 W.
Sign a lot. Yeah, Cloud9. Look, if there's any doubt that Cloud9 is an NA team, this should get away that doubt. That was such a home field game for them. Like, the crowd was definitely a Cloud9 crowd.
Yeah, no, it was. Like, you could tell that they were wanting them to pull through in that scenario. Like, they were...
And they even, like, the players even afterwards were like, oh, yeah, like, this felt like a home game for us.
They've been adopted because, unfortunately, Liquid wasn't on the main stage. There was nobody else there, and we had to pick one, and, that is the closest, so...
Yeah.
Not terrible.
No, not terrible. Unfortunately, we didn't get to talk to any players or do anything. A, that's because I wanted to die all weekend because I felt like that I was dying from that AC. But B, it's just really difficult to do that at DreamHack. Like we said, there's so much shit going on that unless you just want to hang out at the Counter-Strike thing all day, it's difficult to game. It's difficult to work and play, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Someone asked the chat, what did y'all think about Reign saying they were only playing at 80% after the loss to C9? That doesn't make any sense. I mean, I guess you have major hangover if that's what he's talking about.
Yeah, but like they were, they kind of squeaked their way into the playoffs, and it didn't look like the same team that we had just witnessed kind of storm through the major. But this was, I think that excuse goes out the window because this was like a big event. This just wasn't like the next event. This was like actually a big event that they should have seen a window of opportunity.
Especially with the teams that had to bow out.
Exactly.
Because of visa
there was a handful of good teams that were no longer going to be at this event, which kind of made them the de facto, favorite to make it through. Navi, your biggest competitor, wasn't there. They're probably not there sweating about 90% of these teams. And I think the only real fear would be the teams that placed first and second, right? Cloud9 and ENCE were like the only two teams that you thought, okay, like they could do this. For Cloud9, I think this is just the morale boost that they needed. They struggled in the major. They didn't get off to a great start under the Cloud9 banner. I think there's a sense of pressure that was also tied to that. So for them to come out, get this win, I think it's probably really a good boost saying like, okay, we did this on LAN. Like this was important. And I think they needed that more than some of these other teams. I think for ENCE, it just shows a continued sign of growth, right? Like they're showing that they are a good team and they belong because they continue to get these results. But for Cloud9, I think it meant a little bit more. Like Cloud9 has shown that they're good, but they need to win. And getting this win in particular probably feels pretty damn good for them. They also were the ones to knock FaZe out. So you can't even say like, oh, FaZe got knocked out. They didn't have to face them. They're the ones that eliminated them. So they had a good run. In this event, they played Liquid on their home turf in the sense, here they played, in the losers bracket, had to beat NIP, had to beat Liquid for a second time. So, they're feeling good about this win, I feel.
Yeah, and I think, like how you were saying, I think at the major, one thing that we kind of didn't really acknowledge was, we talked, and we got to give them some slack on it too, because we talk about Navi, right? Well, Navi's got a lot of things going on behind the scenes with the war in Ukraine and everything like that. So, we'll always give them a little bit more of the benefit of the doubt at the moment. Well, I mean, Cloud9, Gambit, they were kind of in that same boat. They didn't know if they were even going to be able to play, for some days. So leading into that major, that was probably a different way of getting prepared than normal, right? Like leading up to it, probably a little different than what they were used to. And now, like you said, I think they played extremely well at IEM Dallas. I think it's looking good. They were able to get the monkey off their back as far as being a quote-unquote online team, right? So,
and look, if Axel and Shiro do what they did in this event, they can win any tournament. The problem is when they don't turn up, they don't have enough firepower elsewhere. But like those guys were leading the event, overall rating for both of them. Axel walks away with the MVP. Like they're gonna be a hard team to beat when these guys are performing the way you expect them, to perform. It's just teams are good right now, man. That's one thing I'm kind of getting out of this era of CS. Is like there are a lot of good teams, and it's not easy to win. I think it makes like Imperial's run more impressive and stuff like that to really understand what they did in the major. But there's just a lot of capable, smart, focused teams playing Counter-Strike right now, teams that want it, teams that are hungry. And I think we're kind of seeing that from event to event with different teams kind of stepping up. I will tell you, Tim, right now I do have one disappointment so far. We're midway through the year, of Vitality. Like this roster struggling the way they are, coming out in 8th place in this event, or tied with Liquid for 7-8. I really thought they would click and click quick, and to see them struggle the way that they have and really look worse since making these moves, to me, it's kind of shocking right now, because I really thought adding oh my God, you're adding this veteran presence, you're adding Zonic and a coach, you've kind of assembled this dream team in a sense, right? Really good talent, and they are falling flat. I mean, real flat right now.
I mean, I said it back when the major was going on that I have zero confidence in that roster.
But how could you not have confidence in this roster?
Going into the year, I had
when this roster was announced.
Oh, when this roster was announced,
this was a top 3 team in the world?
Yes.
Easy, right?
When this roster was announced, we were saying if these guys aren't contending for first place, number 1 in the world on a consistent basis, it's a bust. And now we're thinking oh my God, just make the playoffs, boys.
What changes do you now? Not I'm not asked. This is not rhetorical, but what changes could they even make to improve themselves? They've dumped a ton of money into this project. You're not going to go pick up another star name to fill in a slot here. I feel like they need to make it work, or you need to revamp completely and build around Zywoo, or however you want to do that. But I don't think this is something where it's okay, let's bring in somebody to kind of help us. You did. You brought in 3 people to help you out. You brought in a coach and 2 players. There is no let's bring in somebody else. Zywoo needs to play at an elite level, and these guys need to be a great supporting cast, and they are better than that. So there's really no excuses in my mind for this team to be underperforming the way they are.
So let's see here. When did this roster... Okay. So do you want to see how this roster has played out so far this year? Because remember, they pretty much... I mean, they were made during the winter break, right? So we have a clean cut of 2021 and 2022 Vitality. Their last event in 2021 with the original roster was the Blast Premier World Finals. They got 3rd place against Na'Vi. And I remember we joked about oh wow, they're actually playing pretty well because they just won IM Winter. Yep. So blowing this roster up when you're feeling good. And even before that, 5th, 2nd, 3rd, 2nd, 1st, good rosters or good finishes. Now, flip over to this new roster. Blast Premier Spring Groups 2022. They defeated G2, got 1st place in that. Since then, they haven't placed higher than 5th place at an event.
Yeah,
And
ninth
that was
at
at
Katowice.
that was at Pinnacle Cup, where the next best team there was Ents.
Yeah, ninth at Katowice, 16th in Pro League. Obviously struggled in the major. Like, this is now a handful of tournaments. Like, this is what we're seeing as the norm versus that first place finish that they had at Blast Premier or whatever it was. So yeah, concerning. Again, like, really concerning, and I think this roster needs to just figure it out because I don't see any help coming in
Yeah.
to kind of save the day. Like, there is
Out of 7 events this year, you have placed 1 time over 5th place.
and you have what people consider to be one of the best 3 players in the world, along with 2 other world-renowned players, an IGL who's been around the block and also been in multiple majors and won a major. So again, like, there is nothing that this team is missing other than some ingredient, right? Like, something is missing, but it's not talent. And at least that's a better problem to have than be missing talent, but I'm sure the pressure is mounting over there.
It just goes to show with Counter-Strike, and I guess any type of game like it, where it isn't just all about talent, right? So much of it. You spend so much time with these guys. You have to not only be one of the best at the game, but you have to all be mentally in sync with each other. You almost have to be playing a game. Like, they need to pull some Coach Bombay shit and, like, maybe run scrims without talking. Just try to communicate based off of feeling out where your teammate's at or something. Like, do one of those weird coaching methods.
Throw some sticks in their hand and make them go pick up the trash. Tim, like, something that's all it takes.
Yeah, like, you got to do something here to get on another level with your teammates. That's the only thing I can think of. Because, like you said, it's not talent. You can't tell me, like, oh, well, Zywoo just isn't cutting it now. Apex, he's falling off. No, these guys were 6 months ago winning events.
Yeah.
Like, it just doesn't fall off like that.
And they were competing, like, hard in all the events that they weren't winning. So it's not like if they were losing, they were getting wiped. They were just not able to pull out those first place finishes. And this was supposed to take them over the top, and they've just regressed. So
they all can't be Virtus Pro where they just decide to suck all at once.
No.
So
they were getting top 3 consistently prior to this change.
Yeah. So I don't know. If I'm Vitality, I honestly just you got to mix it up. Do something.
A little lost if you're them probably right now.
Do something. Other than that, that's really all I got for Counter-Strike. We honestly, other than Cloud9 matches, I really didn't watch a ton. Oddly enough, being at DreamHack surrounded by esports is probably the worst weekend of our esports paying attention, because I'm really not paying attention to anything at DreamHack.
Unless they line me up with it, and it's not happening.
unless it's just Cloud9, and I'm like, okay, yes, I will watch you. Chances are I'm not paying too much attention. But there's that. One last thing about this, I gotta pat myself on the back here as a good dude of the week.
Because, this is good.
Because Saint Timothy, your boy, saved this kid's weekend. I guess Friday, because he was only there for the Fortnite tournament, as we learned. So we're waiting in line to get in. Security line, honestly, it wasn't that bad getting in there. I felt like we got there at the perfect time, like right before, because our buddies ran back down to get something out of the car and then waited in line for like an hour. So I felt like we got there right before the big crowd came in.
Yep.
So perfect timing on us. We really didn't wait in line very long. So we're waiting in line. This kid is like, yeah, it's my first DreamHack. What would you say, 15 years old?
Yeah, 15, 16,
younger kid. And he's like, yeah, it's my first DreamHack. I'm competing in the Fortnite event, blah, blah, blah. Super excited. I forgot my Ethernet cable. No problem, young man. We come prepared. We have boxes of cables. For this exact reason, you can have one of ours. No big deal. So we all go through security. he comes back, says, "Hey, I'm also forgot a monitor cable." And it wasn't like a normal power cable because I had that. It was like a third party cable thing. It was a cable, not a normal cable. Like, I don't think anyone would have
Cable we weren't gonna have.
Yeah, like no one's gonna have an extra cable of this type of thing. And so he's running around. The event starts at 1. This was probably at like 10:30, 11. He's running around looking. We're like, man, go here, go to the booth where maybe you can rent a monitor or do something. Racking ideas. Well, it's like 12:30. Like I said, we're down at the last minute. We see him just sweating. You can see the look on his face, Anuj. He's like, I'm done. My tournament is done before I even began. Until the hand of God reached down at him and said, I got you, son. I got you. And that hand of God is me. Because I let this kid borrow my monitor at the start. The hype was at its max. We were getting ready to game.
It was the freshest we would have been all weekend at that moment.
Yes, this was before the AC drove my sinuses insane. Everyone was fresh. Everyone was hyped. I said, you know what, dude? Just take my monitor. Use it. How far do you think you're going to go? Is this worth it? He's like, oh, I'm going to make the finals. Like, I feel pretty good about it. Long story short, he didn't.
Well, the best part was we go up to him like 3 hours into the tournament. We're like, bro, how are you doing? And he's like, oh, there were some delays. We're just getting started. I'm about to play my first game.
That sounds about
all right.
That sounds about right. So, long story short, yeah, it's this kid. And I even told you ahead of time, this is how I know. This was the first DreamHack that you and I attended as fathers. And it's like, all I wanted to do was to make sure that this kid had a good time. Like, it's your first DreamHack. I've been here before. I can wait a couple of hours to have my monitor back. You use it. You do your tournament. Whatever. So thankfully he was bounced very early because he lagged out of one match, and I got it back by, I don't know, 5, 6 o'clock.
Yeah, no, it definitely worked out it worked out for him getting a chance to play, gave you some good karma. So I think it was a win-win all the way around.
Oh, yeah.
Classy move. Glad you did it. I was kind of poking and slightly trying to encourage, but I didn't want to tell you to give up your monitor at the same time if you didn't want to. But
the reason is because I had a laptop, so I gamed on the laptop. Obviously not ideal, like to game on the laptop monitor, but I could at least game. Wasn't the most comfortable, but I could. So that was my good deed. James says in chat that I hate tourneys. Yeah, man. Honestly, and we say this during our survival guide for DreamHack, unless you are doing the tournament with full intention of like wanting to use it as a platform to get better and try to go pro, I would almost say it's not even worth it doing it for fun at this point.
Or just be prepared for the delays. So like if you're like, hey, we're going to grind out some Counter-Strike before the CSGO tournament, like really wait for them to tell you like, hey, we're going to go live in 30 minutes and then get your warm up in or whatever. But it can jack up your whole schedule if you're sitting there playing and next thing you know, you have 10 hours of delays and you've been playing Counter-Strike this whole time, just getting frustrated at the game. Like it can kill the vibe quickly. So if you're going to do it, just understand that it's most likely going to be delayed and plan accordingly. Yeah. So you are not.
That is your weekend. Your weekend is your schedule is at the mercy of that tournament and hoping to God it goes smoothly. So, but overall though, awesome.
Yep.
Awesome weekend. So, I saw, what was it? Motionless in White was the band. They played on Saturday. I went to the concert. That was a lot of fun. I didn't see like a cosplay contest, even though there were a lot of people in cosplay, so it had to have happened. Again, they just don't tell you anything when you're there. Magic the Gathering had an official event there. Tons of people playing Magic. I think their tournament had over 200 people. So that's nuts.
That is a lot. And the Magic area, the card game area in general was just like large.
Yeah, it's kind of the more bumping area.
With that.
Yeah, it's definitely the more popular area of it, oddly enough. But overall, good stuff. Looking forward to next year, maybe just as an attendee and not as a BYOC. So we'll see.
Of course, that would be hard to do, just attend, but like not participate. Like, I also don't know if that's in my DNA to do that. So
I mean, if I could get like a day pass just to go out and see it,
Yeah.
you know, I'd be more tempted just to have fun for a couple of hours and then whatever. So I would honestly probably enjoy the esports side of it more because it's like, okay, I could sit here
you would actually pay attention to it.
I can actually watch a match and whatever. So that's fine. All right, let's get into some e-news as we rip through this. In CSGO, Flusha and JW sign with Eyeballers. I think this is like the original Eyeballers org. I don't know if they just made a team and using the name or what, but
That's the vibe that I got from it too. It is cool, like another Last Dance type scenario with them. Not gonna place too many eggs in that basket, but they probably will be the best Swedish team, like full Swede team out there.
I mean, what else is there?
I mean,
Speaking of,
Nip is
Swede.
kind of close to full Swede, kind of. Not really.
They got Device, right?
And F-Tag, both Danish.
Forest filling in with Fnatic at the Pinnacle Cup going on right now. Last I checked, I think they were 1 and 2 in groups. So
Well, even Snacks coming in at like IEM was pretty cool. We didn't really get to talk about that too much, but it's nice to see some of the names that we're just like accustomed to seeing back involved one way or the other, whether it's good or not. For Snacks, it actually was good. He played
made
well,
finals,
so that
so
was pretty awesome.
boosted his personal stock a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
Kirby joins Endpoint. This is what, his first venture since announcing he was back?
Yeah, like this is his welcome back type thing, and it's, you know, I didn't know what kind of offers would be made for him, but I think I'm all lost after the whole JKS thing anyway on where we're at in CSGO free agency in terms of what people are willing to spend right now. So good for Endpoint. I didn't know that they would be able to maybe afford him based on some options I thought he would have, but it looks like he doesn't have those options.
The Rio Major ended up selling out within the hour. I think it's like really within 10-15 minutes, the whole thing pretty
Real
much
fast.
as soon as
Real
the servers
fast.
were able to catch up, completely sold out. Local soccer teams and everything are offering their venue for bigger venues. Teams are asking for Valve to move it. I don't know the logistics behind it because deals were probably signed with the venue that it's currently at. Like,
I think those venues are like already like locked in place, and then like as much as I love the idea of a soccer stadium, especially in Brazil, like you can't account for weather when it comes to this stuff. God forbid it's a rainy day. Like what the hell are you even going to do in that scenario, you know?
what game did you open, Anuj?
I closed this down and it's pulled up. It's a loading screen here.
I just see the lights flashing on your face. I'm like, oh, this dude opens up Destiny the second E-News starts. But no, yeah. You know what's funny about that Rio Major is at first I was like, oh, well, geez, did they put in like an esports stadium size arena, like a couple thousand?
No, it's big.
It's like 18,000 seats still.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh.
But do you think they could sell out a 30,000
That's the
seat
thing,
stadium?
right? Like, so
like
it's-
for Brazil, like do you think Brazil? I think they could.
I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised.
They're the one place that could do it. I don't think there's many locations like US, for example.
No.
You put it in LA or even Dallas, like you're not going to get 30,000 there.
you're
I
not.
think Brazil legitimately has a chance to do that.
Brazilians are crazy, so I think they totally
Mm-hmm.
could. So we'll see. I doubt that it moves though.
It would be nice if they did it, though. It would be cool.
It would
if
be cool.
If we got to see it in that, it would be the first time we would see esports in that type of venue and actually sold out. That would be, it would make that major a very memorable
Oh yeah.
major for
course.
sure.
We didn't talk about during the DreamHack segment, but Nigma Galaxy is the first ever ESL Impact champions. That is the female league going on right now, which they had pretty much front and center. Like there was no way you could missed them.
Probably watched more of that than I did any other one because of their location.
Right. Like it was just anytime you got up, that was kind of where you always ended up standing right next to anyways. So pretty good turnout throughout the weekend too. It was.
I mean, it wasn't bad. Like they had a great location.
Yeah, that was good. In Valorant news, details are starting to emerge regarding the Valorant Riot League. Looking at 2023, rumors are 8 to 10 per region. It's
a little tight, right? Like I think it shouldn't be. These are early reports, but I do think that they should consider like EU and NA being like 15-team kind of regions, or you're gonna absolutely kill the environment, right?
Well,
like you're gonna have a lot of teams drop out.
Like Luminosity has already announced that they are dipping out of Valorant, and Luminosity
there'll probably be more.
And that's what everyone was like, whoa, Luminosity, I thought they were doing well. And I even tweeted it and I put it in the Discord, like, I think this might be the first of many, because these orgs probably have a better idea than we do at this point if Riot is considering them to be a franchised org. And if they're not, they're like, well, why are we gonna house a roster for the next 6 months? Like, let's just save us some money and dip out. So I agree. I think we're going to start seeing a lot of orgs dip out that you might have not been expecting. In Call of Duty, Major 3 was this weekend. I did not watch a nanosecond of it, but it did happen regardless. Seattle Surge reverse swept FaZe to beat them in the finals. Who would have thought that? Right? Mac and all those roster moves on Seattle really making a difference. Paris Eternal and Paris Legion ownership has filed for Vegas trademark, so possibly moving the Paris teams respectively in COD and Overwatch.
They even confirmed it.
Have they confirmed it?
After the reports came out, I think they confirmed that they are going to be moving next year.
I feel for the Paris. Look, those orgs were dead in the water. Like they have been. There were jokes about it during the offseason.
Coming when it did for a game like Call of Duty was disastrous from a global perspective.
Yeah, from those EU teams, like all this hype of, oh yeah, we're gonna do major tournaments over there and blah blah blah. You weren't able to do any of it. You weren't able to market your team over there because of that. It's just I don't think they knew how to market a team either that way. So, I think
roster
it fits
became
better.
an issue. They ended up only being like Euro roster, so you're very limited. And
yeah, I think Vegas, it sucks, right? But Vegas makes more sense. It just does.
100%.
In Overwatch news, LA Gladiators defeated the Dallas Fuel 4-0 in the kickoff clash, this being the first stage event of the season.
Nice to see Dallas being competitive over the last year. You know, like we kind of missed the boat on that when we cared.
Too bad we weren't able to go to this. We were invited by ownership to go, but yeah, buddy, this is the same week as DreamHack, so
not the best weekend to choose.
Did you notice that we saw nothing of Envy or that? And maybe that's because this is the same weekend, but kind of whack. I just realized this. We didn't see anything. No optic booth, nothing at DreamHack.
No, I don't think they care about that.
I thought this was
probably not
supposed
worth
to
the
be
money to like. It would just be fan engagement, but they're already getting that at their own event, so. I
guess it's just weird to me that like you're supposed to be the quote unquote Dallas based org, and yet you don't even
have a FaZe booth and not yours.
Right. Like it just seemed odd to me.
Which the FaZe booth sucked.
And
so.
oh my God, did it ever. They looked so depressed over there. But FaZe, you got to do better on that.
It had like 5 t-shirts and a bomber jacket.
And like a little light.
A FaZe light.
It was very depressing. You are right about that. I just thought it was weird. I'm sure they were all at this kickoff clash for Overwatch, but still, to have some representation at a video game event in your town, I feel like it's pretty mandatory.
And I can agree with that. It would have been nice to have a presence there.
So this kickoff clash for Overwatch peaked at 121,000 viewers. Not bad. Not bad. It averaged around 50,000. Not good.
Still not terrible, actually.
Not terrible, but when it's your your stage finals, like kind of like a mini major.
Yeah, but that's again, I guess, depending on where your expectations are for Overwatch. Mine are relatively low, so to think that they can still peak at 121 on YouTube, like that's not terrible.
My expectation would be like if it was 70, I think I'd be like, okay, that's not bad.
If it was Twitch, I'd be a little bit more concerned.
Yeah, that's true.
On YouTube, you kind of you still got to look for it, Like if you're not subscribed
it's
to
still
Overwatch
terrible.
League,
I was trying to find something on Twitch the other day that I knew was live. Like I knew
Twitch or YouTube,
or on YouTube, and I knew it was live. I went to the channel and it still wasn't popping up.
No, it's like either you're subscribed to it and you're getting the notification or it shows up on your homepage, or you're not and you're trying to find it. And if, I feel like on Twitch, even if it had 70K viewers, it would have been on the front page. People would have passively seen it.
That's the difference. In FPS news, Modern Warfare 2 reveal trailer. Spoiler alert, looks like Modern Warfare. Activision confirms that the base game will be $70. So there's that. Where we've entered in the $70 video game
Can we talk
threshold.
about this for a second? Because this has been a big issue of contention, right? The $7 base price. If it's true that it's a 2-year COD, not a 1-year COD, you're now getting Warzone 2 for free as a free-to-play game. There'll probably be some sort of pre-order bonus for getting this game. It's not terrible because it is a 2-year investment versus a 1. So you're paying 70 up front, or you're paying 120 over a 2-year period. Like the 70 up front sounds a little bit better, but you're going to get nickel and dimed with the store and battle passes. Like maybe if you buy the game, the first battle pass is free. That would be kind of cool or something. But I'm not terribly judgmental when it comes to this price hike.
I just wish it wasn't, and we all knew it was going to happen. Like I remember, because we worked at Circuit City at the time, when video games made the $50 to $60 jump. And I remember thinking, oh my God, like that's insane.
Insane, yeah.
And now I think that's what the reaction you're getting now is $70. Like, are you insane? And I hate that Call of Duty had to be the ones, go figure, it is Activision, the ones making this jump. Like, they're the ones who are going to set the precedent. But
I think they also understand, though, like, this has got to be a big year for them. And if it's a 2-year game, they're also better off trying to recoup some of those funds up front versus...
It gives me more of a reason to wait towards Christmas and get it 10% off.
People are going to buy this game.
People are going to buy it.
People are going to buy this game. It's Modern Warfare 2. The trailer didn't show me much. I know people were super hyped about it, but if I'm not like watching true gameplay of a trailer, I really just don't care.
Yeah,
I don't care about cinematics at all. And the story and all that is not why I play COD, right? I very rarely mess around with that stuff. And so show me more, but the hype is going to be there for this game, and the expectations are going to be high. And I somewhat think they have a chance to deliver.
I have to see what it is. I don't think I'm going to be a day one. I mean, I can't tell you the last time I spent $60 on a game, so I'm sure the hell not going to spend $70 on Call of Duty without seeing results first.
I think what I would do day one is I would be playing like Warzone 2 day one.
Right,
you know,
to get the feel for it. And then...
Yeah, like that I will get into and try out. Look, I think Call of Duty had what was it? Not Modern Warfare. What was the one that we just played a couple of CODs ago?
You talking about Modern? Which one?
It was the Modern one.
Modern Warfare was the last COD that you and I played.
Yeah, like just a couple years ago, right?
We didn't play Vanguard.
That game was good. And it was just like dark, right? Like it was hard visually. It wasn't like overly appealing, but that game wasn't bad. I think they could like kind of through that hair and just give you like visuals that you want, and you probably enjoyed the shit out of the game.
So I didn't think it was that bad compared to the one after that we didn't buy.
We played Modern Warfare a lot.
Yeah, that's the one we played a lot of.
like a lot, and I liked it. I just didn't love it. I didn't think it was visually appealing. I think if they can go back to the older style visuals for COD,
Yeah.
like the game felt pretty good on PC.
Yeah. I want to get it. I want to get it because it's the one game that you can just play with your buddies and not really worry about it. So
It's 70 though, you're right. It is I will watch streams the first couple days and determine, okay, this looks good or it doesn't.
Right.
With Vanguard and stuff, we knew pretty early, I feel.
Oh, Vanguard, I knew in the beta.
In the beta.
Like, I was
we
like,
played an open
nope,
beta and we're like, oh, this is not it.
We're done.
Nope.
Thank you. In other news, or in FGC news, Nintendo approved a 100,000 Panda Cup. So again, they partnered with Panda Global, which is a FGC org, for their Ultimate and Melee Cup circuits. So hey, props for Nintendo. You're actually approving tournaments. That's always a good sign, I guess. Congratulations on you.
It's weird though, right?
It is weird. I gotta look at the rule set. Like, let me look at what you approved. Right?
What if they're items only?
Can we do teams, please?
It is weird. It makes me wonder, like,
something's up.
There's a sexual assault charge coming at Nintendo.
Something's
there's something is coming.
First off, to be fair, we knew there was a sexual assault charge coming when it was Smash, so that's just implied. You're gonna have someone there, but
Ultimate and Melee.
Yes. And the gameplay trailer was revealed for Street Fighter 6. It's interesting looking. It looks like Street Fighter, but also doesn't look anything like Like, the art design on it is like samesies but different. It is very
Street Fighter 6.
Yeah, I still hate the logo design. The fact that they're using this new modern looking design is gross, but it's interesting looking. You can tell it's Street Fighter, but it almost looks like a modded version of it. It's interesting. So I'm anticipating. I want Riot to release more information of their fighting games. That's what I want in life. So I know what fighting game I need to invest in.
It does look good. It doesn't look bad. It's like brighter. It's like more colorful and animated than I'm used to seeing.
Yeah, like it's different. Like, it looks weird, but not bad, just weird.
I wish I was good at.
You just gotta play.
Fighting game.
People say
you gotta like play a lot. You gotta like
you don't even have to like memorize. If you just played with like a buddy, you would pick up some basic combos and
but
tendencies.
It's not that I didn't know the combos. I'm that kid that got like overexcited and just button smashed at one point when shit's just going on. Right. It's like, instead of my mind doing what it's supposed to do, like a good player would do,
baiting,
I just get like panicky and just start clicking.
Yeah. No, we'll play the Riot one because I know that's free to play, so you'll at least be able to get on that one. So we'll see. In other news, Asus reveals a 500 hertz refresh rate monitor. Okay.
Sure.
Like,
I don't understand how that. So do you have to be hitting 500 frames per second to be maximizing a 500 hertz monitor?
Now, I'm not like a big tech guy, but I think that's how that works, right? I'm sure there's someone is yelling at us right now that we're wrong.
3090 Ti. And you could probably only make that work in Counter-Strike to get those frames.
Yeah, I mean, I don't... Yeah.
What other game could you get 500 frames in?
I think this is just to say they have the monitor, and then, 10 years down the road, we'll be able to...
Have you played on a 240 even?
No, 240 hertz?
Yeah, have you played on, have you messed around on a 240 hertz monitor? I mean, I don't think I have.
I don't think I have. I think 144 is the highest.
I thought that was like a really big jump.
Yeah, I don't know. I will say, my monitor that I use now is the ultra wide 120. The monitor I used at DreamHack is not an ultra wide at 144 hertz.
Yeah.
I love my ultra wide. Like, if DreamHack accomplished one thing, it made me reaffirm that I love my ultra wide.
Did you feel a difference between... I was playing on DreamHack, I was playing at 165, and at home, this is what is this?
120, I think.
120. It's either 100 or
I
120.
think it's 120.
And
We have the same panel.
I didn't notice.
I don't notice a difference, no. But
No.
and I will notice this even from a size standpoint. While gaming, I don't notice a difference anyways. Like when I'm playing like an FPS, because
But like Destiny, don't you prefer to have the extra view?
Destiny, yes, because I'm not playing it like I do Counter-Strike. Counter-Strike or like those type of games, I'm 2 inches from the monitor, and so I'm not.
I think
care,
Counter-Strike and like Valorant are like the two exceptions
right.
to that.
Outside of that, I'm probably leaning back a little bit,
Most of what we play now is like leaning back a little bit, you know?
Yep. And last but not least, Take-Two and Zynga merge in the biggest deal in gaming history. So there's that.
I should have looked at numbers when I was writing that down, but just know it's big.
It's the biggest one in history. So
biggest one in history.
There's that for you. We also had the Summer Game Fest earlier today. Which, from memory, I don't know. Nothing crazy for me.
Summer Game Fest to me has never been like I catch the highlights.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, if you're into those type of games, like I saw some people on Twitter freaking
that's
out.
That's more the thing. It's
like,
just never been the games that I typically target.
Right. So there you have it. That's it. Episode 386. It's done. It's in the books. Thank you so much for listening. Everyone in chat, love you. Everyone listening on the podcast, love you too. Follow us on Twitter at The Center Ring. We will be on Discord as well. Join the conversation there. We will be back next week. Pulling up calendar. I guess we'll be back in like a couple of days at this point. It's Thursday. So,
yeah, we'll be back.
I was going to
talk
say
about weekend news.
Yeah.
So hopefully, what do we got this week?
So Boomage, your dick pic needs to come out. So we got something to talk about. We will, next episode, break down every vein and crevice of Boomage's dick pic.
We will find it.
And we will discuss. But that's not until next time. Until then, enjoy a good weekend of gaming and esports goodness. If you see us on, hit us up. Always down to game. But until then, love your face. For Anuj, I'm Tim. We'll see ya. Bye. Okay. There we have it.
I threw my guy in a public event spot to just let him farm rep while we were on. And that was a good call. I was like, holy shit, he actually knew that I did that.
Oh, I mean, your face was blowing up. I was like, I could tell you were in the loading
let me just
screen.
like camp him in a public spot and he farms, like he'll farm all the rep for me.
Yeah, no, I could tell right off like the second you did, I was like, oh, you're on the loading screen of Destiny. Hello. All right, I'm gonna edit this and upload it, and then I got some schoolwork I gotta do because I kind of forgot that I had to do that all weekend at DreamHack, so I'm like 4 days behind.
What do you gotta do? Like, what's your is it homework?
Yeah, I mean, it's really not that difficult. It's just kind of reading, and then the questions are like, think of a time and apply this, give a scenario of that. So it's really not too difficult, but it is time consuming is what it is.
Yeah.
But
is going through all the material time consuming? Do you go through all the material, or do you like pick and choose parts that you just need to like look over?
Oh yeah.
Do you have to go in and do any testing, or is all the testing just done from home?
All at home, and most of it's participation. Like just they'll look at it, and say like, okay, yeah, you the way you answered this question was enough to where we know that you read the material type of thing, I
mean, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's not difficult. It's
pressure. It's like a different type of pressure then, right? Like, because when you have to also like, you're getting graded A, B, C, D, then there's like an added
Right.
I don't know,
Like
an added
like
dimension
there's
to
not
it.
like tests where I have to study for. It's just all short answers, right?
Mhm.
So it's nice because I don't have to like specifically study and just I can kind of reference stuff. But it also, yeah, it's like, oh God, I can't just run through this answering quick. I have to actually put
Yeah.
some thought into it. So but other than that, it's not too bad. So I'm going to kill the stream so we can get to editing this. Ladies and gentlemen, love you. We'll see you next time.